Hello and welcome to That Man, once again coming from the floor, and this is another manga haul featuring light novels, many light novels. Due to the whole corona incident, well, let's face it, I haven't been able to get many titles. And this was actually going to get skipped originally until Wordry decided to reduce tons and tons of manga and light novels for next to nothing. So I basically filled all of the gaps in my collection. By which I mean I filled some of the gaps in the collection. Mainly light novels, but there is some manga in here as well, so you're getting the best of both worlds. Let's go. The first title I picked up was Cells at Work Cor Black Volume 3. I believe Cor Black Volume 4 is now out. I've just finished reading Volume 2, finally. This is actually the next on my to-read list. Volume 2 actually pretty much ends the series, but it continues. This time it goes into another body. Yes, a needle is inserted into the body and some of the cells are taken from one body to another. And the other body is worse than the previous body because after having a heart attack in the previous body, you can't really go any further. And I'm not going to mention anything that's going on at the moment, which I'm sure Cells at Work will probably cover at some point. Maybe. But I'm looking forward to reading more of it. I'm liking the look of some of the new characters, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all turns out. Next up I have Delicious in Dungeon Volume 7. I haven't even got Volume 6, but this was one on sale, and I was like, well, I'm going to buy it anyway, so I might as well get it cheap while I still can. Because, hey, cheap stuff is still always good stuff, especially if it's something that you're collecting. One of the things I have noticed is that pretty much everything that came out this month, as in March and probably April, hasn't turned up. So yeah, I pre-ordered a lot of stuff like Laid Back Camp and Mon Isekai quite early on, and yeah, they haven't even been dispatched. So yeah, next month is going to be interesting, but it's Delicious in Dungeon. Apparently it gets really bad. Volume 5 was decent, it got better as it went on, but you can kind of tell it was supposed to originally end. I'm looking forward to seeing how Volume 7 turns out because, hey, it's more Delicious in Dungeon and that's just my kind of jam at the moment. Next up is that title that I mention every now and again and everybody goes, oh, do a review on it, and I go, yeah, I will, and I never did. I still have half of the year Yuna and the Hornetha Springs Volume 1 to 5 review up there somewhere, but yeah, it's not going to happen anytime soon anyway. Volume 8 got dispatched, or at least I ordered it and it still hasn't arrived. Yay. But Volume 7 also came. This was like £2. I was like, yeah, £2, I can't not buy it. This is a title that I've been on and off with, very much on and off with. It's very fan servicey, but it does do a lot of things different. However, my biggest problem with Yuna and the Hornetha Springs is that it does stuff different, but it's not particularly interesting. However, with Volume 7, it is actually trying to pull things out differently. It's getting to be a bit more of a shonen battle manga than just straight up, you know, titties. And I can't hate it for that. I really enjoyed this volume. I went straight onto this from Volume 6 and it took a while. It took a long while to read these. I don't know why it takes me ages to get through one volume of Yuna, but I enjoyed it enough that I keep buying more. I'm insane. I'm buying more Yuna and the Hornetha Springs. Oh well. But I can't really complain. I did enjoy this. I am enjoying the way this is going. Some people don't. Some people prefer the way it was just pure ecchi every chapter, and then once it goes into the battle manga, it's kind of like, well, I don't care. But yeah, if you like a little bit more action with your ecchi, this is one that's keep your eye out for it. Keep both eyes out for it. Another manga I picked up was Golden Kamuy Volume 13. Again, it was on the sale. Originally, my plan was to be buying Golden Kamuy on the 3 for 2, and I'd buy 2 get 1 free. You know how it goes. And I had 13 and 14, and I think 15 now out. So I was, or it might have been Dr. Stone that was out or something like that. And then this came up for like £2, and I was just like, I can't not buy it. I can't. It's too cheap. So yeah, I've ended up picking it up. I don't know what happens in this volume. I haven't had the chance to read it. I'm going to try and keep up on stuff because I'm not going to lie, manga reading hasn't been really on my mind at the moment. I am reading stuff, it's mainly light novels, but manga itself yeah, not so much. I'm assuming this is going to end the prison saga. Hopefully. That feels like it's been going on for quite some time, but yeah, I can't wait because it's always good. It's always a good read when I do read it. I just haven't had a chance to read this one yet. Oh well. Moving on from manga, and we've got light novels, and we have Volume 11 and Volume 12 of ReZero. A title that I was absolutely loving, but you know what? I just haven't had the chance to read it. Almost everything else has been taking priority, and this one kind of fell on the wayside. Again, it was cheap. I actually bought it, I think these were about £5 each or something like that. They were a little bit more expensive, but I'm not going to complain because I was filling in gaps. Yeah, this is the gap filling of the gap filling arc, or whatever you want to call it. I'm on to Volume 10. I'm just going to binge everything I can. I've been recently reading another title that I will cover in a few minutes, but after that, after I've read a few odd bits here and there, stuff to review, I'm going to go on and just read Volume 10, 11 and 12 of ReZero. I might even do a whole review on it because I don't think I've ever covered ReZero that much. I mention it here and there, and it's much like Overlord. I read it quite often, but I haven't really covered it in detail. Something I will be resolving in the next few months, maybe. But these look fun. That character's back, you know, from the very first volume. Just back. So it took another 11 volumes. Brilliant. Next up is a title that I actually did get for this month, and that is So I'm a Spider, So What, Volume 8. And I haven't read it. Volume 7 ended, well, rather interestingly. I love this series so much. It's one of those ones that it just keeps me guessing, and I'm really excited to read more of it. I just haven't yet. That's it. Yeah, I can't really talk much about it because it's going to be huge major spoilers, and I don't really want to spoil things for anybody because, yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns in this. And someone said who did read it, they said they didn't really like how this one turned out, and I've kind of got a feeling because I wanted to say how far it was. I got a feeling that I know what's coming up. And considering the twists and turns, I wouldn't be surprised by it. Yeah, and that's all I can really see about it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it and seeing how it goes. Join me as I review it in a few weeks' time. Next up is a new title that I picked up on a whim. Again, it was reduced down. It wasn't too cheap, but it wasn't too expensive. And that is The Wandering Witch: The Journey of Elena. Now, if you've ever read or watched Kino's Journey, you might have an idea of what this is about. This is about a young witch who travels from country to country on her broom, and these are the stories of the people she meets, the countries she visits. Elena isn't that interesting of a character. She's a cute girl, that's about it. She's a cute witch girl, but what hooked me with this was how interesting the countries were. Originally I went, it's just going to be Golden Camus, it's just going to be Kino's Journey, it's not going to be anything particularly interesting. But this really hooked me in, and I really enjoyed it to the point I actually read this in a day. That's right, in a day, and I can't really see that much about many light novels, especially when there's like 250 odd pages, 232 pages. Each of the countries Elena visits is interesting in its own right, and I would really recommend people giving this one a chance. The manga's out soon, so I maybe want to check that one out. It's one of those ones where I'm going to say, there might not be much difference between the manga and the light novel, but I would really recommend it, especially if you're wanting Kino's Journey. If anyone's read it, let me know in the comments. Next up, again, it's another shelf filler, and that is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Volume 7. I've been a bit on-off with this series. I enjoy it, but it's been kind of one of those ones where I've been reading, I've just been like, you know what, I kind of want to read something else. Again, it was reduced, and yeah, I can't wait to read how many pages was there? 337. 337 pages, that's going to be a tough one to get through. I like the series, I still enjoy it. It's just one of those ones where I kind of like, I don't know, I kind of just went off it a little bit. I'm going to give it another chance, but it's pretty low on my to-read list. I just got because it was pretty cheap. Speaking of cheap ones, I've actually picked up a title that I actually did cover in another video and I've bought digitally. But I did really enjoy it, so I decided I might as well pick it up physically. This was £2. This was part 2, volume 2 of Bottom Tier Character Tomozaki. This is pretty much brand new. I think it came out February. I don't even have volume 1 in physical, but I do enjoy that. I'm going to try and collect it. He says as his collection just expands and expands. After this is over, I'm going to have to really sort out my collection. This is an interesting title. This is about a young man who he doesn't feel like he's been given the right cards. He feels like he's a bottom tier character. And he befriends another girl who's a popular one, and she's just like, oh, you disgust me, blah blah blah. And he's like, well, and she's just like, no, if you really try, you can become a better person. I did do a whole review on it up there. It's in the link. Go check it out. I'll explain it a little bit better, but it is something that is absolutely worth reading. £2, so yeah, you know, can't complain about that. And the last ones we're going to talk about today is Toradora 8 and Toradora Volume 9. I'm only one volume off having an entire Toradora light novel collection. That's going to be weird because there's not very many light novels I'm actually going to be able to see. I'm actually going to be able to finish. I just feel like constantly with light novels, I'm constantly just being like, oh yes, I'm buying them, but I'm never going to catch up with them. But yeah, Toradora's done and dusted. 10 volumes. I've seen that Konosuba's ending. Konosuba's ending on volume 17. Volume 11's out in May. But yeah, Toradora, it was fantastic. I've actually binged volume 6, 7, 8, 9 along with a few other stuff over the last few days, and yeah, it's a fantastic title. Absolutely would recommend it. I can't really talk much about it because it's going to be major spoilers, but nearly every single one has it kind of, it's weird because it's kind of like you're reading through it and it's kind of like stuff happens, and then at the end something major happens, and then stuff happens, and something major happens. Yeah, the relationship between Ryuji and Tiger are really being tested. There's a lot of massive reveals getting done in this, and yeah, not every character's going to make it out alive. Nah, that's only a joke. It's not that kind of title, but it is a really good title. Now, what have you guys been reading? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming, subscribe, and goodbye. Bye.